joining us. Join us. So, hi, I'm Sonali. I'm Sonali Bansal, and I'm a certified health coach and a nutritionist. I'm in the field for about 10 years now, and also a yoga practitioner. So today, Vriti and I are another speaker. She'll just introduce herself. We'll be guiding you through this session on how to, cure your lungs post you have quit smoking. And it is imperative right now, considering the epidemic situation, the COVID-19. So I'll hand it over to Vriti now to introduce herself and throw some light on the topic.
Thank you, Sonali. Hi, guys. I'm Vriti Shrivastav. I'm a lifestyle nutritionist and I've been practicing since the past 8 years. I did my bachelor's and master's past then and have worked in various fields of research, counseling, content management, all of that. Recently, I also founded, with a partner, I founded Saurasya Teas, which is basically about giving health-based herbal teas. And as Sonali said, that yes, today's session is very important because currently throughout 2020, I think this is what we focused on as to how to improve lung function. Okay, so whether you're smoking or not smoking, this is still important for you. So Sonali, how would you like to take it forward?
I think it's good that we start with by understanding that if you are smoking or if you intend on quitting smoking, but it's important to understand what happens in the body. If you are smoking. So what do you say? Should we start with this?
I think yes. So that is very important because once they get to know what changes are actually happening in the body, maybe that might be a motivation for you to quit or maybe plan on quitting it.
Absolutely, because sometimes we are smoking thinking it's just one or two cigarettes and it doesn't matter, but the impact of just one or two cigarettes is far reaching. So it's not just chain smokers who actually are impacted because of smoking. Even the passive smokers and or even people who just smoke once or twice maybe actually do face the side effects of smoking. But before I go forward, I'd like to tell all our audience that if they have any questions or queries, they can post them in the chat box. And by the end of the session, Vriti and I, we both will put our Instagram handles and Facebook handles or whatever is most comfortable. And we can, you guys can reach us from that. Yeah. So coming back to the topic, so I was talking about, how smoking impacts our body. So firstly, let's just talk about lungs because, the whole, this whole topic is revolving around how to boost the lung capacity. So when you are smoking, so see, there are different organs in the body and lungs and our liver have the capacity to cleanse themselves, and liver, it has the capacity to regenerate itself also. But when you smoke, you diminish the the capacity of your lungs to cleanse themselves. And ऐसा क्यों होता है? सबसे पहले, when you are smoking, mucus production, which is one of the leading causes of respiratory disorders, increases. जब भी mucus production increase होता है, so consider this your lung. So the mucus gets stuck on the the small sacs which are called the alveoli, and it does not allow the lung to cleanse themselves. So when the lungs are not able to cleanse themselves naturally, the supply of oxygen decreases in the body. Then secondly, so this is your lung. So there are small, broom-like structures called cilia. So वो सब आपके lungs के चारों ओर रहते हैं. And it helps in cleansing the lungs. So when you are smoking, even two cigarettes in a day or in a week, for that matter, actually decreases the movement of the cilia. So जब भी वो movement नहीं रहता है, so the cleansing of the lungs cannot happen properly. So when the cleansing is not happen, again, the oxygen supply in the lungs and to other vital organs in the body decreases to a large extent. Then your lungs can, actually age faster, and the infections, the respiratory diseases and the lung infections can affect you like super soon, like jaldi aapko lung infection ho sakta hai. So all those people who are suffering from sinus or sinus related disorders or asthma or bronchitis or chronic bronchitis for that matter, or even the bigger diseases like COPD, which is the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is one of the worst form of respiratory disorders, can actually increase many folds. So ये आ गई आपकी lungs की बात, but just don't think कि smoking is restricted to your lungs only. Of course they impact our lungs the most, but the skin, the hair, the nails, everything is impacted because of that. So the color of your nails, the shine of the hair, the luster of your hair goes down. So also the brain functioning, that you will have a lot of brain fog. Then of course, if you are living in a city where there is a lot of air pollution, then again, the impact is really really derogatory. So smoking just one cigarette or two cigarettes or 10 cigarettes in a day, never think ki ek ya do cigarette hi hai. Even one has worse impact, and 10 is, of course, chain smokers are of course going to be impacted majorly. So this was in a very nutshell कि क्या होता है अगर आप smoke करते हैं तो immediately. But this is about people who have quit smoking. So lungs को कैसे आप preserve कर सकते हैं, उनकी capacity कैसे बढ़ा सकते हैं if you have quit smoking. So I think it's good we focus on the fact that when you quit smoking, then what happens in the body. So I think Vriti, what do you think? If you quit smoking, I'm sure there are a lot of positive changes that are happening in the body. So what do you think, what happens?
So I think, as Sonali said, I'll just add a little bit to that smoking is one factor, and then we live in, especially when we live in cities, okay, wherein there's a lot of pollution, and plus we are exposed to pesticides, we're exposed to a lot of chemicals all around, whether it's use of plastic and everything. So imagine the amount of chemicals going inside the body. Smoking is just adding to all of that. So probably that might be a motivation for you. And I found this very interesting fact on what happens in the body when you actually quit smoking. So in 20 minutes, okay, your blood pressure starts getting normal. In 12 hours, the level of carbon monoxide in your body, that reduces. In 48 hours, your sense of taste and smell, everything improves drastically. In 2 weeks, the lungs start functioning better, and in a month, you'll start breathing better. Like your exercise tolerance will increase. You will have a better breathing capacity. There won't be any shortness of breath. And this is what will go on, and over a year, okay, there will be a drastic change in tolerance in oxygen levels in the body. In 3 years, you reduce the risk of heart attack to almost that of a non-smoker. And in 5 years, the risk of lung cancer totally comes down by half. So with all the good things happening, I guess, it's kind of a motivation. So probably most of you, if there are people who quit or people who are planning to quit, you have to keep these things in mind, so that kind of pushes you to do it. On that note, there are certain, like, how do we actually also improve the lung function after quitting smoking? Sonali, do you want to take that up?
Yes, why not? So how to improve, before that, I think we can also discuss, I would like to add what Vriti was saying too, when you quit smoking, so the impact can be seen not just till 1 year. I think 20 years tak bhi uska impact nazar aata hai. I was researching a little bit, and I found out that people who quit smoking after 20 years, they are अंडर द रिस्क ऑफ हार्ट अटैक्स जो होते हैं वो नॉन स्मोकर के लेवल पे आते हैं आफ्टर 20 years. So like the impact is so far reaching, and especially I think Vriti, you are from Mumbai, isn't it?
Yes. And Sonali is from Delhi. I guess sorry, but then the topmost polluted cities are Mumbai and Delhi, I would say.
Well, Delhi tops it all, I believe, because it's crazy the kind of traffic, the vehicular pollution, the industrial pollution that we have here in Delhi. I think it unfortunately it beats it all. And it's so we read in the newspaper every day. I in the morning when I'm having my cup of tea, I flip the newspaper, and the front page says the air quality in Delhi is severe. Like it's not even poor, it's not even bad, it's severe. So uske upar there is no level. And on Diwali, the Diwali night, the amount of pollution was 999. So uske upar the meter can't gauge. So that was the amount of
The
pollution.
ban for crackers did not work in Delhi.
people were bursting crackers. They were just bursting crackers, and it amazes me that it doesn't affect them, I mean. And I happened to speak to a few people, and they were like, it's Diwali and the kids won't agree, so हमें तो ये करना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि बच्चे तो मानेंगे ही नहीं, and it's like kids are ready to not burst crackers. It's the adults who need, the understanding more than
Yeah.
So talking about Delhi as an epicenter and also bringing some perspective to people who are in Delhi. So I'm sure all those people who have joined us, or all those people who will be seeing this, this webinar in future, actually might be from Delhi. So they have to understand that people who are living in Mumbai or in Delhi, or places where there is a lot of pollution, it's really important that you have to understand that you are more at risk in comparison to those who are living in remote areas. Because the so if I talk about some statistics, kids, just think about kids, under 18, whether they are not, usually the kids are smoking these days, even kids under 18 are
I
smoking.
mean, it starts off at, I think, 13 years, I guess.
Yeah, maybe even earlier, because kids these
Yeah.
days are so, like, ahead of our time. Like, I don't know, I mean, like, we didn't do any of those things which kids are doing currently. So like, kids under 18 who are not smoking, 50% of them, actually, not even 10, 20, 50% of them have irreversible they do have, like, I mean, it's like a proof, and it's available for all our listeners, that it's like, I mean, you'll find a lot of study about it, that it's there out there, that kids have irreversible damages. Then the ADHD disease is, like, I mean, on a hike because of this. Also, asthma and bronchitis, the visits to, like, the hospitals is 30 to 40 times more, especially in winters. So smoking in winters in Delhi or in Mumbai is like, you are choosing to poison yourself even more. Why? Because the fog is the air is so dense, and the air pollutants are suspended in the air for a longer time, and then you are smoking, so anyway you are inhaling a bad quality or a severe quality air, and then you smoke, so you add on to it, so it's like the worst. So please, I mean, it's like my ardent request to all our listeners, that if you are in Delhi or Bombay or any area which is affected with pollution more than usual, then you have to be ultra careful about it. And then, yeah, and then coming back to, I mean, what are the natural ways, Vriti, you think, which will help in overcoming the effect of people who have quit smoking? Then how can they, manage the effects of smoking after they have quit it naturally?
There are like plenty of ways, and I would say when you mentioned winter, the only way Mumbai people benefit is that Mumbai barely has any winter here. So in that context, maybe the air quality could be like a little better. But anyways, so in natural ways, there are multiple ways in our day-to-day life that we could adapt to improve lung function. It goes on from the very basic, wherein everybody tells you eat a healthy diet, exercise regularly. So when you do a cardio exercise, you are actually training your lungs, you're improving your breathing capacity, you are training the body to absorb more oxygen and more efficiently. Exercise is one thing. Having a very balanced diet is really important, including a lot of fruits and vegetables in different colored forms, like be it very dark green leafy vegetables or a yellow, orange, all of that. I'll come to that later as to why do you actually need to add colorful fruits and vegetables. Apart from that, since now we are living in 2020, we do not have an option, but we have to take steam regularly, because you have to again improve the body, and in the sense also that a lot of mucus tends to get accumulated, be it as a response of pollution outside or in general infection and all of that. So for that, taking steam almost every day is very much essential. Having hot water or herbal teas multiple times in the day, okay, that is very important. So that what happens is, with herbal teas you are also giving antioxidants to your body, you're improving your metabolism. And on that note, since I told you about Saurasya teas, so do go on, you can try the flavors that we have. We are available on Instagram as well. So next is including, like I told you, why do you need to include a lot of colorful fruits and vegetables? Is that there is a component in the body called glutathione. Glutathione is like the master of all antioxidants in the body. And what antioxidants do is it reduces the stress level, the oxidative stress in the body. So whenever the body is under stress, the body releases certain free radicals. Those free radicals are going to hamper the good cells in the body. They're going to try to destroy the good cells. And that is how when a person is under stress for a long time, if you notice, the person starts to age or the skin starts looking dull. So that is how free radicals work. And glutathione and other antioxidants that are present, what they do is they destroy the free radicals, reduce the oxidative stress, and improve functioning not just of the lungs but of the entire body. And glutathione is made up of mainly amino acids. Amino acids are what is in protein specifically, as well as there are certain precursors present in our diet. And which is why I told you, one is, of course, when you have a balanced diet, you are balancing carb, protein totally. So with post that, when you also have yellow orange fruits and vegetables, you can have Brazil nuts, green leafy vegetables, mushrooms. All of these contain minerals and antioxidants which are going to increase the levels of glutathione in the body, right? In balanced diet, concentrate on increasing the biological value of protein by mixing it, like say it could be a cereal and pulse combination instead of having just cereal. So for example, if you're having a fried rice or you're having a rice item, make sure that a pulse is coming in. That's how the biological value goes up. Okay. Dairy products which have good amount of protein, soya, non-veg, eggs, all of these matter a lot. Like we might think that they only build muscles, but guys, it's not just muscles, they actually build antioxidants in the body as well. On that note, there is one, I think that there's also a supplement, Sonali, which builds glutathione in the body. Would you like to highlight on that? We can't hear you, you're on mute. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You mentioned some really good points here about, maintaining a good diet. Also, I'd like to add something that, like I said earlier, that mucus production actually creates a lot of hindrances in your lungs function, respiratory functions. And especially in winters, wherever you are, the winter season is still here all over, because the sun's rays are reaching less. So the mucus production naturally is more. So according to Ayurveda, the season is like, such that the mucus is being produced in the body more. So when you add milk products to it, or when you add, any phlegm producing products to it, or kapha producing products to it, it increases in number. So especially when you talk about diet, then, reducing milk products, or if you can eliminate them, of course, it's a really difficult choice to be made, but if you can eliminate them, or you can, limit them out, that'll help out vividly. It'll help out vividly. Now, talking about, like you were mentioning about glutathione, which is the master antioxidant, very correctly said, Vriti. And I think there is this supplement, or, again, an antioxidant, which is called NAC, which is the N-acetylcysteine, which is again made of amino acids. It's a semi-essential amino acids, because our body can produce it to a certain extent, and it is actually a precursor to glutathione. So when you take NAC particularly, then you can actually see the benefits of it. Because firstly, like I said again about the mucus production, NAC helps in reducing the mucus production. It helps in thinning the mucus. So जो भी खांसी रहती है या बलगम रहता है, in सर्दी, if you take NAC on, like, a daily basis, and I'll just tell you, what's the prescribed dosage for that as well. It really helps in, maintaining the the level of the mucus in the body pretty decently. Now, talking about NAC, so NAC is not restricted to just, your lungs, because, of course, it helps in your respiratory functions. It also helps in your liver functioning. It also helps in your kidney functioning. So usually in my practice as a nutritionist and a health coach, I usually recommend NAC to my clients to about 1000 to 2000 mg on a daily basis for about 3 months. Why? Because, a lot of people have cholesterol, a lot of people have, of course, mucus production, a lot of people have poor liver functioning. They are extremely dependent on coffee, caffeine, or liver loaders like sugar, alcohol, again caffeine, and milk and gluten. So when they are so much dependent on liver loaders, so NAC comes to their rescue, because it helps in liver protection. Then it helps in your mucus, the way the mucus is produced, so it helps in that as well. So NAC is great. And apart from NAC, I'd like to mention a few other supplements, which would be vitamin D and vitamin E. So vitamin E is again an antioxidant, so it helps in uh, managing the glutathione, the bursting the free radicals actually. So it's really good there. And some natural sources of vitamin E would be almonds, of course, spinach, and maybe avocados to a certain extent, if you can get your hands on them. Then vitamin D, like I said, and some herbal ways to combat this free radical situation would be ginseng. So ginseng is very potent, but having said ginseng, it's really important that ginseng has to be taken in coordination with your health practitioner. It's like it's so potent that it hinders with your regular medicines which you might be taking otherwise for blood thinning, for good cardiovascular health, or maybe antidepressant if anyone is on them. So ginseng is a good way. So I think, Vriti, what do you think? Like, these food items and supplements would be able to help the people a lot, to a certain extent, to boost their lung capacity.
Definitely, Sonali. In fact, I'll just add that vitamin C is another very important supplement that you need to add, which has multiple roles to play in the body. Apart from just immunity, just building immunity, it balances your hormones. It also promotes the work of NAC in the body, and which is why vitamin C generally you could either take it in the form of foods, okay, wherein there are a lot of sources, like there's lime, citrus fruits, there's amla, which is a great source, or you can take it as a supplement itself, like say 1000 mg, max 1000 mg a day. So these are major supplements. I just like to add one pointer to mucus production that Sonali very well highlighted about dairy products. So in fact, dairy ke saath even processed foods, okay, oily food, sugary food, that is also going to cause a lot of mucus production. So if you already feel a little irritation in your throat, and you might have noticed, right, like when we have irritation, throat irritation, and when you have something oily, it just gets it worsens over time. So these foods also have to be kind of either avoided or restricted, rather, like you have it in a proper proportion, right? And supplement wise, like just like Sonali mentioned, NAC, N-acetylcysteine, there's a very interesting fact about NAC is that it it helps you cut down the cravings for smoking. And not just smoking, I came across a very interesting research which said that this NAC can also help you cut down on any kind of addiction, whether it is it's like something like even gambling, or something like, if say certain people are addicted to some kind of drugs. So any kind of addiction can be cut down by the use of NAC. And improving lung function, there's a very age old practice in India, which is obviously deep breathing. So I think since Sonali is a yoga expert, she can highlight something over deep breathing, meditation, and pranayam.
Yeah. So, like you said, that deep breathing helps a lot. It definitely does. And I would like to highlight very quickly that during my practices, when I was learning to become a teacher, like some 7 or 8 years back, the yoga instructor, my teacher, my guru, used to tell everybody that if you're smoking, so let alone quitting smoking, that if you're smoking, doing Bhastrika Pranayam, bellows breath, which is called in English, will actually undo the effects of smoking. So if you are smoking, or if you plan on quitting, or if you have already quit, Bhastrika Pranayam will do wonders. So it will have very far reaching impact. Apart from that, deep breathing mein aa jata hai aapka diaphragmatic breathing, belly's breathing. which is a game when when you're thinking about deep breathing, because it just pumps the oxygen into your entire body even more. So your the lungs capacity becomes weaker to soak in oxygen and to supply oxygen to the body. So when you do some breathing exercises, especially diaphragmatic breathing, it just calms you down. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system in your body, and it increases the oxygen supply. So it's so rewarding. And like Vriti mentioned, some cardio exercises, definitely running, definitely cardio, because it increases the capacity of your lungs. It strengthens your lungs to perform better and function better. If you would like to add something more, Vriti.
On that note, I just want to add that I had this friend once or maybe an ex-colleague, I remember, who used to, who was a chain smoker, but every day he would climb 6 floors to the office just so that, because he felt that obviously at least थोड़ी सी lungs की exercise हो रही है. So, but on the other hand, you're also smoking, right? So on that note, I think so. Dipesh has a question saying that, is it also harmful when we are surrounded by smokers, because his circle consists of a lot of smokers? So what do you think, Sonali? I guess of course it has an effect, because just like of course when we are in when there's pollution around us, we're inhaling it. Similarly, passive smoking is also dangerous, right?
Definitely, I would say that it's even worse than aggressively smoking. Why? Because someone who's smoking is taking in freshly inhaled the vapors of the smoke from the cigarettes. But someone who's passively smoking is like taking in the carbon dioxide which the person who's smoking is exhaling as well. So it becomes even worse for a passive smoker. So if you are somebody who's passive smoking, you have all the right in the world to tell the smoker that they should not smoke around you, or maybe you can just move a bit away from them if they are smoking, and there's nothing rude or unruly about it.
Definitely. In fact, even e-cigarettes, right? Because I think Neil Visaria had a question on e-cigarettes. So there is no point substituting, okay, whether it's e-cigarette, vapes. I think all of these are ultimately going to contain a little amount of nicotine or some kind of chemical substance which is going to come out in the smoke. So whatever you use, ultimately, it obviously depends on the level of nicotine, but ultimately you are inhaling some kind of chemical into your body, and that is going to have impact over time.
In fact, vaping is related to inflammation in the body. So apart from e-cigarettes, people feel that this thing called vaping, which is very considered very metropolitan, or like very savvy, is actually very unsavvy for your body and your mind. You will have more brain fog, you'll have gut health issues, you will have inflammation. So definitely vaping, e-cigarettes, or anything, no substitutes are going to work here. You have to use your willpower, and I think a certain bit of diet management, and a certain bit of meditation and yoga, and maybe some energy work here, or some therapy work here, or cognitive therapy also works wonders in people who want to quit smoking. Will only is something which will go a long way. And I think someone has asked, I think it's Mujutpa has asked that how to prevent our sensation organs who are involved in smoking. Vriti, would you like to take that up?
So I think what you're trying to say is, how can we prevent our sensation? So does that mean, I don't know, does it mean that how can you prevent the sense,
Maybe they're talking
from
about the
going,
addiction. Like, the senses are addicted to it. So how do you prevent yourself? So I would say mind body practices, again, yoga, meditation, and of course, a firm belief in yourself. And of course, if you are into smoking very deeply and not like on like the peripheries, then I would say that definitely taking up reiki, or some kind of energy work, or some kind of therapy work, or behavioral therapy would work a long way.
Adding to that, adding calcium and magnesium supplements, or food. Okay, the food could be as simple as banana, oranges, broccoli, all green leafy vegetables, different types of nuts. It actually works wonders for the body, because magnesium is also a mood enhancer, as well as calcium and magnesium work in sync to improve nerve function. So adding that might also help you just stick to your willpower to quit smoking, along with everything that Sonali said.
Yeah, and Sunny is asking that for how many months should we stick to NSE dosage? And is it OD or BD, and how many days in a week? So Sunny, you have to take it every day for 3 months. I mentioned it earlier as well while I was mentioning. And you can take it post breakfast actually, because some things are fat soluble and some things are water soluble. But since, it's a little bit an unknown area that, which part of it is water soluble and fat soluble. So it's best to take medications or supplements or dietary supplements after your breakfast immediately, because then you are good to go your entire day, you are sorted. So I would say that after breakfast, definitely.
Okay, perfect. So somebody asked Rishu, okay, how important is green tea or other herbal fluids for improving lung capacity? On this, I'd actually like to share an experience that when I was coming up with Saurasya, because we were working with herbal teas, we kind of did a lot of curations for over 3 months. And even believe, I actually noticed that during these 3 months, because we were in and out every day trying different herbal teas, okay, my immunity improved a lot, because originally I touch wood, but I generally tend to get cold at least once or twice a year to matlab fix hai. But then during that time, even though I had people around me who had cold or cough and all of that throat infection, I did not catch it. So imagine herbal teas do work wonders, because herbal teas are nothing but they are all these natural flowers and leaves and spices which are mixed in together to make those herbal teas.
I think herbal teas are wonderful. They just add so much, so much value to your entire day, because they are caffeine free, right? Priti, am I right? They are
Yeah,
caffeine
this
free.
green tea contains a little amount of caffeine. Otherwise, everything else is caffeine free. Yeah.
So what happens is, so having too much tea is also not advised, right? So you can have herbal teas, and you feel like you're having chai, but you're not having the negative impacts like the acidity, and with in fact you will get the benefits of the herbs that are mixed in the tea. So I think it's a great way of adding more herbs to your and spices to your day.
In fact, one of my friend who is terribly addicted to smoking, she tried stopping as well, which did not happen. And then what happened is, because of smoking, she was also addicted to caffeine, like big time. So in a day, the coffee would happen 5 to 6 times. There would be tea, coffee ka mixture all day happening. And once I had given her these teas, okay, herbal teas, and she kind of liked it. She actually substituted it with coffee, as in, sorry, substituted coffee for herbal teas. And over the time, she's actually cut down on the cigarette consumption, at least, as in probably the willpower or the immunity, something has improved, which has affected that. So anything natural, I'd say, whether it's about food or it's all the herbs and spices, everything that we have in the kitchen, guys, that does wonders to the body.
Natural is the best way to go, I believe.
Totally. Okay, what's next? Anybody has any more doubts or questions, please post it. So Sonali, what are you doing in Delhi to protect yourself from the pollution?
I think we're taking steam every day because it's like really important considering the pandemic. If you are stepping out, then taking steam helps a lot because you are safeguarded from all the the negatives. So that's what we are doing. And I think you should answer this question, Vriti. Can we consume herbal teas more than once a day? I think definitely yes. What do you think?
Exactly. Yes, you can, of course. In fact, different kind of herbal teas have different functions in the body. For example, something with spices, like what we have is, so we have something which is for immunity, something which is for debloat, something which is for relaxing. So especially if you're trying to quit smoking, suppose since the body needs a lot of relaxation as well to calm down your mind, you should have all these chamomile and lavender teas, okay, which help calm down the body completely. And apart from that, all these other green teas or spice mixes, these help with the immunity and antioxidants. So herbal teas can be had as many times as you like. So if it's green tea, I think, Sonali, do you suggest that maybe we should stick to maybe 3 times a day?
I
If it's
think
purely green tea.
if it's proper caffeinated green tea, I would recommend only once a day if you are a coffee drinker as well. If you
So 3 is the maximum that a person can
yeah.
do. So if it's
If you
brewed
don't drink
like,
coffee, then maybe you can have about 2 or 3 cups in a day. But if you are having coffee, because coffee contains a high amount of caffeine, so
exactly.
you can have 1 cup of coffee and 1 cup of green tea, and I think you'll be you'll be doing more than what you should be doing in terms of caffeine for your entire day. But I think coffee lovers would not agree with me when I say that, reduce your coffee consumption. So yeah, caffeine can be really far reaching, but that's a topic for another day. Let's take another question. And it says, is flavored hookah also a bad for lungs? Absolutely, 1000 2000%. It's worse actually, because the concentrated form of tobacco that you have in hookah, it's like you feel that. And honestly, in Delhi especially, the culture of hookah is so rich that people think that they are, especially women, they would say that, no, I don't smoke, I just do hookah. And they don't understand that they are choosing for a worse kind of poison than smoking, because smoking will have just one. I'm not propagating smoking here, but smoking, if you smoke one cigarette, you are just smoking one cigarette. If you're doing hookah, then it's a concentrated form of tobacco here. So and then you have the flavor. So you have the preservatives and the coloring and whatnot, is you are inhaling that. So it's the worst. So honestly, I have seen people who are fine with smoking, but when they do hookah, they actually have a very very severe headache, and they actually are also known to throw up because of just having hookah, because the tobacco, the amount of tobacco it has, the nicotine it has, is really really high. What do you think, Viti?
It also affects your blood pressure. In fact, the difference is when a person is smoking, just like you said, maybe one cigarette would take, say, however, few minutes. When you're having hookah, you're almost having it for an hour almost. So that's, you're inhaling that much of smoke into your body. So hookah definitely is worst. And so whether it's smoking, hookah, whatever, it has to be like, so hookah can be, if you really really wish to have it, it should be once in a while activity, not very.
Herbal hookahs bhi aate hain. There are herbal hookahs as well. So, I
Yeah,
think
there are
you
herbal
choose
hookah.
them if you really want to just have that feeling of, I don't know, whatever that is.
Avoid the tobacco in it majorly.
I think herbal hookahs are free of tobaccos. I'm not so sure. Are they free of tobacco? Herbal hookahs?
I think I'm not sure myself, but it might be having lesser content. If anybody here knows that, then please post it in the comment. Passive smoking of hookah is equally bad. Yeah, just like passive smoke, I think yes, passive smoking is equally bad for everybody. Any more questions, guys?
I think we'll just take one or two last questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. I think certificates, yeah, I mean, faster.
Would be answering that. Okay, so since there are no questions, I think let's give out how can people, if you have more queries, in fact, you can reach out to us. So we could just give our Instagram handles for the same.
Just post it here in the comment section.
Yeah. So we're just typing out an Instagram handles in the comment section itself, guys. So you can follow us there. And if you have any more queries, you can just DM it to us and we'll respond to you on that. Or we will rather do a post as well if required. Perfect.
Thank you so much, guys, for being such amazing audience and a good sport. So stay connected, and hope you could gain something out of it, and hope we were able to help you to a certain extent.
And hope the smoking level goes down. Hopefully.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Sunny. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being there. And I just hope that this, it was insightful and it brings a little bit change into your lifestyle going forward. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sonali.
Thank you. Thank you, Vriti. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.